Hi, I'm Jim Ritchie, CEO and co-founder of AEONrv. We're here up on Hunter Lake Road, which is about 5 miles from our manufacturing facility in Reno, Nevada. We did some great off-roading to get up here, but I'm here to introduce our new 2025 model AEONrv. We're very excited about it. So primarily this is an evolution to our previous year's models. It's the same floor plan, but it's built on the new 2025 Ford Transit cutaway chassis. It's an all-wheel drive with the 1-ton rating and a 9,950 pound gross vehicle weighting. Some of the primary differences in this year's model are we've gone to a new rigid solar panel. It's a 200-watt solar panel. There's 800 watts on the roof. And those are high efficiency, 25% rated efficiency panels. And that's an upgrade from the previous flexible panels that we were using that were a 23 efficiency rating. And we're offering an upgrade to all existing customers at cost where they can get the new panels if they'd like. And we've already installed those for a number of customers. As well as about another 20 plus what I would call refinements and improvements to the overall vehicle. And we'll show you those as we go. The first thing you'll notice is the color. This is a paint protection wrap. It's thicker than a traditional vinyl wrap. This actually comes with a 10-year warranty and is also self-healing against chips. What I like about it is it's got this nice kind of matte sheen. We'll have other colors and other options, so stay tuned. One other thing I'd like to point out here is we're now bedline painting right down here to match the rest of this bed liner we put on the vehicle. And this really ties in, we think, visually how it looks and also provides some additional protection against rocks and things coming up. Also, you'll see our new slightly shorter storage box. This is an option that you can get. We actually reduced the height by 2.5 inches to make it more visual appealing as well as better for off-road. These are options you can get, we call ditch lights. These are nice for going off-road. We also have this nice little bar here. You can mount optional lights from Baja Designs. Finally, you can see an option here, which is our Van Compass intercooler skid plate. And then here we have a new option for 2025, which is the Ford Raptor grill. You can get that as an option to replace the standard Ford grill. Finally, here on the front, you'll see this new black wrap on the hood here. And we've also can integrate a subtle logo here. And you can see that's what kind of makes it look, kind of ties into the rest of the black highlights of the vehicle, as well as it actually is functional. It helps with any reflections off the white hood. Another thing that we're doing with the 2025 model is we've gone to all black trim elements. So you can see if you get the base white color, it will come with black trim options. So the Thetford toilet door, the door clips, light up here, the table now, those are all coming in black. And then new with 2025, we're also putting this black trim option between the body of the vehicle and the actual cab here. And you can see that here as well. Another change we've had to make on the 2025 model is we've had to remove the automated ball valve to dump the gray tank. But we still have our standard 1.5 inch ball valve. It's very easy to operate. You reach down and just to open it up. We also provide a hose that is designed with the right fitting so you can dump your gray water into a traditional RV dump station if you need to. Another new option for the 2025 is we've updated our tires from the BF Goodrich KO2 to their new KO3 tires. This is a larger tire than comes stock from Ford, and it actually gives you an additional lift in addition to the 2-inch lift kit we install from Van Compass. So one of the things we do is we take the standard steel wheel off from Ford that comes silver. We take it off, take the tire off, we strip it chemically, and then we powder coat it. And we have a new process for that, which we really like, which gives a slightly semi-gloss look, which we think ties in better to the overall look of the vehicle. So I want to point out a few of the new features in the inside of the 2025 AEONrv. First of all, we've gone to a new mechanical skylight from a powered skylight. We just find that's a little bit more rugged and has less options for something failing. It also has some nice capabilities where you can lock the cover in a couple positions while it's open, so we really like that. It also has a bug screen and a blackout shade integrated into it. Overall, we think that's a nice improvement. In the cabinetry here, we've added some additional venting so we can allow more airflow from inside into the garage to keep the water tanks more at temperature, so that's a little refinement we've made as well. Another change we've made with the 2025 is how we actually configure the cover that goes around our hot water heater. We use a marine style hot water heater. It's stainless steel 8-gallon tank. It's insulated, and we put it inside an insulated box. That's a unique feature of the AEONrv because we actually heat our water off the coolant line, so free energy from the engine. And we have a box that's built around that. We've redesigned that to make it a little easier to access and provide a bungee cord now to keep things installed when you're storing something on top of that shelf. As we mentioned earlier, one of the major upgrades to the 2025 AEONrv is our new rigid solar panels. And also here you can see the new Victron Servo GX touchscreen and the new UI. Right now we're getting 475 watts from the solar. And this new screen allows you to monitor everything inside the AEONrv, your batteries, how much electricity you're using, how much electricity you're generating, your water levels, your temperatures, all accessible either from an app or this really handy touchscreen. We've been getting requests from customers. They'd like to switch which direction the shades come up. Do they come up or come down? So to make that very easy for customers, we're now installing the window shades with threaded inserts. You just pop this open and you just take out 4 screws and you can switch them. Customers can do that, so everyone can choose which direction the built-in shades come up or down, and of course the built-in bug screens. We're offering 2 new cabinet colors. We have this light color, which is an upgrade from our previous light color. This is called Simplicity. This is very popular. In addition, you can get a medium dark color called Union Peak. We'll show you some video shots of that as well. And that's popular. Some people want a slightly darker, warmer color. We've added a little retainer shelf here for this big, what we call the appliance garage. We put a little retainer shelf here so nothing will slide out when you're going off-road. And of course, we have our NovaCool dual compressor, dual thermostat fridge. People are finding that very popular. You have a nice big, large pull-out freezer drawer here. Improvements in the bathroom include new full acrylic doors with new sliding handles. We find those just to be a little bit more sturdy and rugged for going off-road. You have a full AC power in the medicine cabinet it's a 20 amp circuit, so you can run things like hair dryers and such. And of course we continue to have our shower door built in here and our shower and bathroom in the door, so it saves space. In the show model, we have a very popular toilet that's an option. It's called the Separate Tiny, and it's a urine separating toilet. So you don't have a black tank or a cassette. So when you sit down on it, it opens up this area and you have a biodegradable bag in there and you can use it 1 or multiple times. If you're using it multiple times, we recommend putting some desiccating material and drying material in there. And then your urine goes in here and that's plumbed straight into the gray tank. If you're using it multiple times, we install an extra switch back here which turns on a fan. That light indicates the fan on, and that will vent out to under the vehicle. And of course, we continue to have our fold-down sink in the bathroom with a separate faucet. And when you want to dump that, you simply lift it up slowly, and it dumps the water straight into the drain and goes into the gray tank. And over here, you see we have our medicine cabinet with the new acrylic doors. And of course, we have power in here, 20 amp circuit, and you've got your light right here. We've made 2 changes to the electrical system. First of all, we've installed a new charging inverter. So we have a unique way that we charge off the Ford alternator. We take power off the CCP2 connection, up to 150 amps at 12 volts. We convert that to 120 volts using what we call our charging inverter, and then we convert that back to 24 volts and charge the batteries using the Victron inverter charger. We've increased this charging inverter from 2200 watts to 3000 watts. The reason we did that was just to have a little bit more headroom and a little, so we're not running it always on the edge of its capability, and it will produce a lot less heat in our electrical box, and we think will be a little bit more reliable over time. Let's give you a detailed overview of our electrical system. This is kind of the heart of the AEONrv. First of all, I want to point out that we use primarily Victron energy equipment. We really like them. It's high quality, and also it has open systems, so it's really great for us. Brains of the system here is the Servo GX. That's the main controller where it takes information in from the other devices and allows us to monitor and display that information. Here is the Victron charger inverter. This is a 24 volt system. This both inverts power from the 24 volt batteries into 120 volts, so you can use your regular appliances, as well as a charger for the battery system when we're charging off solar and from the transit alternator. Down here, as I mentioned, it's a 24 volt system, so this is a 24 volt bus bar and additional fuses here. We run most everything off 12 volt with a step down, and there you can actually turn the 12 volt off with this switch here. But we primarily run at 24 volt native, so you don't need the inverter or the step down running, our refrigerator and our water pump. And then you also see the Victron MPPT solar controller and a solar disconnect switch. And in addition, here on the switch side, we have a 12 volt tank heater that heats the gray water tank in the winter, and you can just turn that on, and that's self-regulated in the winter if you're worried about the gray tank freezing. Here is the main breaker for the 124 volt side. It's 120 volt side. It's a 50 amp breaker panel, and then you can see the various breakers here. And over here you have all your 12 volt side and fuses, and you can see they're all labeled. The nice thing about these fuses is if one of the fuses does blow, when this is closed, you can see the LED light indicator here. Because we have a very robust and high-powered electrical system, we've actually designed it to be much like your house, where you don't have to really manage your usage. You can just plug your normal appliances that you want to use into the system and use them. So we really want to make it simple and kind of set and forget from the user's perspective. But because it's a high-powered system, we actually leave a lot of room for airflow here. And you'll see also we have some vent fans here. These are regulated by the Servo GX, and if the temperature in this area starts getting above what we think is too warm, these fans will automatically come on and start sucking out the hot air, and you can set what temperature you want those to come on using the Servo GX touchscreen. I also want to mention that we only use very high quality stranded copper tinned wiring, primarily from Anchor brand. You can see the wiring here. We really believe that it's important to use high quality wiring and connectors as well also. So you'll see we primarily use Anchor brand connectors as well. In addition, you see down here our battery system. We partner with another Reno company, Battleborn Battery, and we really like their 24 volt 50 amp batteries. This vehicle has 8, and they're stored under the dinette here. You can see them. You can also get 2 additional batteries, so you can get up to 10 batteries here. And finally, I want to point out over here, this is the backside of 2 switches that are the main switches that the user would actually have to use to control the system. This switch here is a 120 volt selector switch to select from charging from the alternator, which we typically keep it on that side. Or when you want to charge from shore power, you can turn the switch to shore power, and you can see here this is our shore power coming in, and then this is the backside of the main battery disconnect switch, and that allows you to disconnect the batteries from the electrical system in case you need to store them or just you need to for any reason. And finally, I want to point out the solar disconnect switch. That allows you to disconnect the solar panels from the rest of the electrical system, because even if you disconnect the batteries and you're out in the sun, you're still going to get electrical energy coming into the electrical system from the solar. So if you want to work on the system or totally disconnect everything, you need to turn off the solar disconnect as well. But overall, very simple to operate, just a couple switches that the user needs to be aware of. we've dropped the use of self-heating batteries. Our batteries, unlike many batteries, are installed inside the thermal envelope. So they're always going to be at the temperature inside the vehicle. So in our discussions with Battleborn Engineering, we both came to the conclusion that there was no reason to be using their heated batteries, and that overall reduces complexity and cost. Although not entirely new for the 2025 model year, I do want to point out a few key features of our kitchen area. First of all is our solid surface countertop. It's actually aptly named Reno color, really like that. Our deep stainless steel sink. We also have a pull-out here on the sink, hot and cold water with a soap dispenser. Over here is how you control your water pump, and there's also an extra switch here to heat the hot water tank off electricity. All of our lighting is LED, and one new feature we have added to the 2025 is we've added diffusers to these LED lights here. Gives you a little bit more refined look. We're still using the Turn Overland dual pane acrylic windows with built-in bug screens and bug shades. And then of course, one of the major features of the AEONrv is lots of storage, and you can see here for cooking, you can get an optional microwave. Finally, it's all electric for cooking, no propane. So our primary cooking source is our induction cooktop down here, which you can just pull out and plug in here, and you can cook inside, and it's also designed to be cooking outside on the optional table. Besides all the great storage in the AEONrv with these drawer systems here, lots of storage, you also have a pantry, and that was a key feature that we wanted. So all your food is handy when you're cooking. Got your cooktop and all your food's handy right here, and then when you're ready to get rid of some refuse, you have a garbage and recycle bin right here. I'd like to point out a few things in the Transit cab here. First of all, we spec all the safety options and pretty much anything that you can order from Ford, including the 12-inch Sync 4 screen, updated radio, and all of that. Here I want to point out, let me turn the vehicle on. This is an option we have. It's the brand Motion Full View camera, which is both a front and rear dash cam, but people really like this because it gives you a rear view mirror when you don't have a rear view mirror. So it's really nice to be able to see. Plus, of course, with the good Ford mirror systems. We've relocated the optional switches that we have. So the vehicle comes standard with a switch here to actually charge from the alternator. We can charge up to 150 amps at 12 volts and put that up to 1600 watts per hour into our battery pack. You can just hit this switch when you want to charge. In addition, the vehicle comes standard with a light bar. It's a 30,000 lumen rear light bar. That's great when you're trying to park in off-grid at night. And then here's two optional switches that we've installed. This is one of the switches to control the ditch or side lights, and this is the switch with high and low to control the front-facing off-road Baja Designs lights. And we also give you a couple optional plates here so customers can put their own switches in. So that's new for 2025. One of the key features of our vehicle is this sliding, locking, insulated door. It's got a lock from both sides, but we've also just made it a little easier to open. In 2025, we've installed this nice little handle here into the door. Thanks for watching our tour of the new 2025 AEONrv. We've also launched a new website, which we're very excited about. Please check us out. There's lots of information on the new product, the events we're attending, and a bunch of other exciting information that we have. Thanks again. I'm Jim Ritchie, CEO, co-founder of AEONrv. We look forward to seeing you soon.